Space, the final frontier. We're all obsessed by being someone, something, somewhere. Being in a particular state of consciousness, health, mind, being for and from. Being with, being without. You are not an exception. I don't expect to be. I have to click this. I can see we're closing in on whatever that is. For as long as you could remember, the pronoun that described you best had been. Oh cool, it's like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. He. You were very particular about it. Okay. Like everybody else, you called planet Earth your home. But you weren't like most of your peers. You spent your childhood in a hippie commune in a war-torn country in a slum. Well, in Norway we call them communes, so I'm gonna say this. First California, then the United States ceased to exist. Huh. The world itself became a hypertrophied commune, both disproving and confirming everything you stood for. You moved to San Francisco. So I moved all over the world, from Norway then. Those childhood memories, however painful, gave you some solace. They meant you were someone, and you intended to keep it that way. I intend to keep it that way. Slowly closing in on this ship thing. Armstrong made a step on the moon, and suddenly everybody wanted to be part of something. Yeah, that planet by the tile screen, I thought that was the moon. You witnessed nation states pop out of existence. What is that, like a space station? It looks so weird. Selenites became the privileged class of citizens. They were the minority who had traveled to space. It was hard to reconcile the modern world with your early days in the commune. The United Earth government paid for your college. Not sure what commune would be in English, but in Norwegian it would be like equal of states in America. You wanted to make a difference, give back to the society, see what the rest of the universe looked like. Let's just go with this. We're in space anyway. Soon you joined International Transport Space Lines as a flight engineer assistant. You spent years in training before finally getting your shot. Yep, there's a lot of security protocols and everything. And knowledge to be had. An old man wearing a blue flight jacket approached you after one of the mock launch exercises. He presented himself as Kurt Taylor, the president of ITS. Hello, sir. It's an honor to finally meet you, Mr. Taylor. Kurt invited you to his office and closed the door behind you. He didn't ask you to sit. You kept standing, of course. We have to be polite. He frowned and pointed at the chair forcefully. Hey, I've been learned with manners, you know. I asked you here because I wanted someone with your background to be part of our next mission. You did? I heard you grew up in a commune, and look at you now. You know what Nietzsche said? He who has a Y can bear almost anyhow. Okay. He grinned, clearly satisfied with himself, and asked you to be part of a mission to Europe. Or Europa, as we say it here. There had already been 10 Europa missions. The new one was to be called Europa 11. This time they wanted to send a manned lander down to the surface. I'm gonna pronounce it Europa because Europe is with an E. You just wanted to be one of the Selenities. I wanted to be part of something, I guess. The act of being in itself is not the problem. It's just that some ways of being are incompatible with the others. We get obsessed by them and miss out on everything else. You came a long way from the commune.
10, 9,
Oh,
8,
hearing the launch
7,
countdown made you feel
6,
anxious.
5,
It wasn't a fear of going to space. You'd been looking forward to that. Well, it would make you anxious as well. It was something else. A thought kept bugging you. It was September 6, 2012, and humankind had never been more united. You, on the other hand, were utterly alone. As for building relationships 390 million miles away from Earth, well, let's just say that it wasn't going to be straightforward. We're getting sort of close to this structure now. It's a little planet up here. You were on your way to the system bay when the ship first entered the Europa orbit. The central alarm went off and the red lights blinded you. The the artificial intelligence of Europa 11 had invoked the code red security protocol. All personnel had to go to the bridge. This meant you as well, but the system bay door was just a few feet away. Well, I work as a technician, so let's check out what's going on here. You saw Josh from engineering operating the bay terminal before the system bay door was shut in front of you. Oh, maybe it wasn't a drill after all. You think it would be a drill? The artificial intelligence of the ship told you that the path to the bridge wasn't safe and you had to evacuate immediately. Oh, okay, I got a little bit late there, I guess. What is going on? A synthetic voice said that trying to get to the bridge had been too risky. It wanted you to evacuate. You ran to the escape pod bay. Everybody else turned out to be faster than you. Only one capsule remained docked. It got sealed and detached as soon as you got in. Okay, we got in time. Thank God. You could see the other escape capsules getting away from Europa 11. You tried to hail them. What would that mean? Try to hail them? But no one answered. Okay, so a call then, I guess. The other capsules drifted idly, uncontrolled. They were all empty. What? You tried to reach the commander's center. You attempted to communicate with Europa 11. Let's do this. So they were stuck at the bridge, I guess? Europa 11 was steering your capsule, but you could not get the IE to answer your hail. Something was jamming the signal. Your pod was leaving the orbit. In a code red scenario, the IE of Europa 11 was at the wheel of all escape pods. This was supposed to give the crew enough time to get in their EVA suits. The screen turned blue, which meant that the IE had let go. You felt a shock. The debris was hitting your capsule. The Europa 11 mission was over. The big dot on the radar had split into hundreds of smaller dots before disappearing for good. Oh dear. You needed a moment to process that. I assume so, yeah. You sent out a distress signal. I guess this thing blew up then. Well, yeah, send out the distress signal. Let's keep our minds cool. No one answered. You just kept it running despite the lack of sunlight. If no one found you, you wouldn't need a battery anyway. Cycles went by. You tried to establish communication with someone, whistling your favorite Beatles songs into the microphone. One day you heard back. There was music coming from one of the speakers. A sad female voice sang about the end of the world. You hurried to open the radar app. Okay. You didn't choose the easy way. It's the end of the world. Come on now, it's not the end of the world. There it was, a spaceship. One of those experimental tourist monstrosities from the 80s. What was it doing there? What was all the singing about? Most importantly, was docking it a good idea? You figured you did not have much of a choice. True that. Nautilus. So we're boarding the Nautilus. Careful now. I'm someone new, and I've come to say hello. Each terminal contains a log that can give you a hint.